Hello, I'm Joe, aka Mr. Fragrance, and today I'm going to be talking about a new brand, or a brand that maybe a lot of you wouldn't have heard of. It's a smaller brand, but they make brilliant perfumes, and I'm excited just to try out their range and run through everything that they make and give them a first impression. So enjoy the video. Someone that helped me get into YouTube. His channel is The Fragrance Wardrobe. I've got some inspiration from him. Something I really liked about his channel is that not only does he review the big fragrances, the fragrances that everyone knows of and loves, but he's also kind of introduced me to some smaller brands and some small companies that make really interesting perfumes, whether they be kind of natural perfumes or whether they be regional from certain places. And so that's why I got to learn a little bit about Matiere Premiere. Now, he didn't introduce me to them, but I saw them online. I saw that they were a French company, and I thought, I need to try this out. So I reached out to them. I asked if I could sample a couple of their fragrances, and I have them here, and I'm going to do that for you. So I have in this lovely little pouch. He sent me some strips, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their perfumes to try out. So the first one I'm going to be trying out is Neroli Oranger. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering some of these names. Lovely tester card, and it's flown all the way from France. So now Neroli is definitely one of my favourite notes. It's kind of like a citrusy, woody scent, and it's beautiful. I've never been able to put my finger on it. It's a very expensive note as well when you're buying them for perfumes. So that's obviously the main note there, and their idea was to create an orangey citrus neroli scent, and it's lovely. It's smooth. I think many people would like this. It's not, if you didn't like neroli, those are the only kind of people that would maybe shy away from this. It's got the sweetness of mandarin, possibly because it's been sitting on a tester card for a while. I'm just getting the dry down and what's left towards the bottom of the fragrance, the base, and that is a lovely neroli. Really quite pungent mandarin smell, orange smell, but it smells like a lovely marmalade. It smells like something that a very natural forest. It's beautiful. It's really a really nice neroli scent. I cannot express how helpful it would be to have one of my friends that are from France here to help me pronounce the names. So next we have Cologne Cedrat. And it's a trail of citrus, as with what their initial idea was, and their main ingredient is citron oil from Italy. So let's give this a try. Just like the previous one, very linear. Again, I think I probably got the base notes here. Not particularly strong again, but it's very nice. You've got the citrus. It's quite sweet citrus. There's nothing sharp about this. There's nothing pungently kind of kicking through like a sherbet might. It's very subtle, and again unisex, leaning towards feminine. But if you like citrus as a guy, it's not got the citrus, the spiciness, the woodiness to kind of combat that citrus, as you might find in more designer end fragrances or natural fragrances that are trying to lean towards designer. This is very clearly and obviously showcasing the beauty of citrus in a warm, sweet, floral way, and it's very enjoyable. Totally recommending to anyone that enjoys citrus, just as a citrus accord. The way you would kind of combine them all, a sweet citrus, it's very nice. I always find myself talking about these for far too long. Next one is Parisian Musk, which is a woody vegetal musk, and the main ingredient is ambrette seed from Peru. Yeah, this has very similar. It smells similar to something from the bathhouse, which had fig in it, and one of the bathhouse fragrances which had fig in it, and it's got the sweetness of a fig. It's got the spiciness of the fig, and it's got an earthiness which kind of brings that back down to earth. That very sweet note kind of brings it back down, and makes it something that's a little bit more accessible to those that are trying to wear something that isn't going to be really standing out and possibly offensive to someone that doesn't like fig. This is combating that. There appears to be a running theme here that their fragrances in general are not kind of like sidetracking onto either feminine or masculine fragrances. This could possibly be perceived more masculine on you know, if you're looking at a scale. If you know, if in the middle you've got unisex, left you've got masculine, and the right you've got feminine, it could be possibly like wavering over a little bit like the other ones were maybe wavering to feminine, but it's hard to say really. This is unisex again. I would wear it. It's a little bit more complex than the previous two, but again, all we're seeing here is a dry down, and it's very enjoyable again. Next up we have Radical Rose, which is an overdose of Rose Absolute. And it is. That's it. As with many natural perfumes, you can really you can overdose the senses almost with adding far too many of these very, very pungent by themselves absolutes and fragrances and accords. Sometimes the best way when you're making natural perfume is to stick to very basic formulas, and that's possibly what they're doing here. Again, I'm really not being able to tell for sure, as everything is just a dry down. This one is a feminine fragrance for sure. If you're sticking to the general, you know, where more floral fragrances lean towards feminine, and this is something I, possibly just because of my family and the way that I associate fragrances, rose fragrances, I would associate maybe with an older woman, and I can smell my gran wearing this, something like that, and it's a happy smell. It's something that it's very, very nice. It's such a lovely scent. It's rose. It's such a comforting smell, and they've perfected it. I think it smells really great. It's a very gentle fragrance. These guys obviously know what they're doing. They've got some sort of finesse that they're really just pulling off these very gentle. None of them are offensive, unless you for some reason seem to hate these particular chords. They're all just very, very gentle fragrances, and it's lovely again. Next we have Santal Austral, Essential White Wood from Australia. Okay, so this one really seems to have dried up a bit and barely getting anything from this piece of card now, but I see what they mean, and you know, it is essential smell. Not essential, it's a sensual smell. I've dropped the card. It's very, again, comforting, gentle, aromatic. It fits the kind of the atmosphere of, say, a place where you might go to get a massage, a beauty salon, that kind of thing. It's a linear smell. It's very smooth, very, very gentle, and it's nothing that's out of the ordinary in this sense. Sandalwood is something that's very hard to describe because it's this very versatile accord that no matter what it's paired with will absolutely adapt and change to kind of suit that. And having it by itself mixed with kind of a floral touch is giving it a very, very laid back feel. You know, if you're going to personify it, that's how it smells. Overall though, I do really enjoy it. I think it's quite a expensive smelling, luxurious scent. Oh god, I'm really gonna mess this one up. Bois de it'll be down below. I'm very sorry. A dark ambery wood, guaiac wood oil from Paraguay. Has a spicier accord to it. It's spicier. It's warmer than the previous scent. The amber always does that. Amber is such a powerful resinous scent, and it's adding that kind of spiciness to it, but it's not in any way overpowering. Again, who knows what it'll be like straight straight out of the bottle, but very, very luxurious smelling, as these all have smelled. So lovely, very, very enjoyable. A black incense, addictive and carnal. Resin, incense, Somalia. That's the main note, and yeah, that's exactly what it smells like. It's like walking into, said it many a time on this channel, like walking into a spiritual shop. You know, if you know spiritual shops, it's like a kind of shop that you go into. They'll have these incense sticks. Many other people have them actually, but they're the kind of main place I associate with that smell, and that's exactly what it smells like. It's sweet though. It has a sweetness to it, with a touch of the spiciness of the incense, but it's not quite the spiciness you would imagine. It's not like a black pepper spiciness. It's like the kind of spiciness you pick from oud wood, and they've possibly put some oud wood in this as well because it gives it a churchy smell. It's a very, very enjoyable fragrance, and it's leaning towards masculine, but again, unisex in general, I'd say. I totally recommend it. Honestly, this is probably one of my favourites of them all because it's a little bit stronger on the sheet. this is a great experience to be smelling kind of fragrances made from raw materials. I very much enjoyed these fragrances. They're beautiful fragrances from France. I totally recommend these. I'll leave a link to them in the description, and I'd like to learn a little bit more about the fragrance company if I can over the coming weeks, months. Yeah, keep in touch with them and let me know if you have any of these or if you've tried any of these. Really like to know. I think my favourite was Neroli Oranger. Top there. I really do like this Neroli fragrance. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, subscribe and comment, and I will see you next time on Mr. Fragrance.